the institutionalization of medicine has really taken off the power from women, that they had the main responsibility of taking care of the health of the community that they lived in. And they took off this power from them and gave the power to the hands of male doctors and physicians. And I think it's really interesting. I read an article on ecofeminism that is really portrayed their point of view on that situation. And they were saying that lay women, they were usually very knowledgeable on natural treatments, such as using herbs and, assisting birth and settling bones and doing bath with some kind of natural elements there that could help you heal faster. They were all very natural and also not a lot of intervention. They were not invasive, yeah. And they were able to take care of their community. It was not like a high level technological treatment, but they had the power to take care of their families. And then, because of institutionalization, only men were allowed to go to universities. Mainly men could go to universities. And then those women, they were not allowed to work in healthcare anymore.
Yes.
And so during that time, the Catholic Church was also very associated with this institutionalization because they had a lot of power. And it's pretty crazy how even the education at the time, medicine was not teaching all what we know as medicine nowadays. They were teaching things such as astronomy and religion and all those things that we don't really associate with medicine nowadays. And they were saying,
because traditionally the first universities that appeared, they were very interdisciplinary, as we would call. So the mandatory things they had to learn was astronomy, philosophy, Latin, and religion, plus whatever they wanted to do, like medicine.
So yeah, I believe women at that time, they had more knowledge about healthcare, indeed, than those men who went to universities, but they were not allowed to practice. And then those men, they had to have the supervision or allowance of a priest in order to practice their work, which was very, very invasive. And most of the times they would not really heal the person. I think it was causing more harm than healing, to be honest, with all the bleeding and all that,
Yeah.
And then later on, there was this witch trial thing, and then the Catholic Church once again was disempowering women and saying that those who could heal using herbs, especially, they were doing something that was related to the devil, and that, their own healing abilities were accused as something bad. And then they were accused of witchcraft. And we know all the history, how bad it was, the witch trials. So it's a long history of disempowerment of women in terms of taking care of their communities, taking care of their selves, and the way that they feel disconnected with their own bodies because everything has been institutionalized and we don't feel connected. We cannot listen to our bodies anymore. Everything has been very compartmentalized and seen in a very, very masculine way.
That's right. And I think this kind of excluding women from the system, from biomedical system and all those things, is also related to putting women to work only in the household, because in the past they used to share labor in the community, like gathering fruits and gathering food and all those things while men went hunting. And it was more balanced, I would say, the division of labor by gender, because it was necessary for everyone's survival. But because of the development of capitalist system, women stayed at home because they needed to take care of this family unit that would produce more workers. And her labor was not monetized. So she didn't receive for this role of taking care, for cleaning, for washing, for, doing things that we take for granted until nowadays in our society. So like the second movement, second wave of feminism talked a lot about this. What about these women that are doing all this hard work and don't receive anything? So they don't have financial independence. They cannot, even if their husbands are not treating them right, they cannot move away from them because they don't have a way to sustain their own lives. And this goes back to the whole process of institutionalization that you were talking about. Like universities, they excluded women from that and ignored all the knowledge they had or appropriated part of the knowledge for men only. And because women couldn't acquire this certification that said they had a certain knowledge, they couldn't go to the workforce. So they couldn't find jobs in society. And it's just a very harmful cycle that perpetuates itself. And it's crazy how only like the 20th century, by the end of the 20th century, women started going to universities and actually taking place in the job market. But until nowadays, we still deal with a lot of wage gaps, like between gender and so many other things. And even like you were talking about the biomedical system, the male body only is taken as the example for medicine, and it's taken as this human body, but it's not a human body, it's a male body. And females have different hormones. We work differently. Our anatomy is a bit different as well. And if you don't take that into consideration, how are you producing all these drugs, all the pharmaceuticals, and even like security systems and everything that is focused on the male population, excluding us over and over and over and over and over again throughout history? So that's why I think Women's History Month is important to remind us of what is history and what is the system that we are creating consciously, honestly. It's a power dynamic. Yeah. I digress.
No. Like, male bodies are the standard. Women bodies are the alternative. And that's really what we see in healthcare. Biomedicine is the standard. Holistic healing, what we've been studying that is really related to the feminine, is the alternative.
Yeah. I wonder why.